Hi, I'm Maria Bailey, the author of Marketing to Moms and the CEO of BSM Media, which is the largest mom exclusive network of influencers and content creators. In fact, we have over 50,000 content creators and mom influencers that we work with every single day, helping brands launch products to moms. So one of the things that I see every day is that brands are still marketing to the millennial mom. And don't get me wrong, that's a good thing to be marketing to millennial moms. But what most brands have ignored is that the Gen Z population, which largely they think of as still being teenagers, have emerged now as mothers. Did you know that the average or the oldest Gen Zer is almost 30 years old? So that means if you're marketing to moms, you need to pay attention to the Gen Z mom. Well, here's the big mistake that most brands make. They think of the Gen Z mom as just younger millennials, when in fact, the Gen Z population of females who are currently having children now are very different than their millennial moms that preceded them. So if you're a brand who are thinking that, well, I can just do the same marketing tactics because they worked with the millennials and they'll work again with the Gen Zs, you're wrong. So I thought it would be interesting to go over, I actually did a blog post on 50 things that brands should know about Gen Z. But of course, I'm not going to repeat all 50 right here, but I am going to give you a preview of some of the highlights that you need to know as you begin your journey in marketing to the Gen Z mom. So let's get started, and I'll try to give you a little bit of commentary around some of the big ones that I think you should pay attention to. So number one, trust is the starting line for the Gen Z mom, not the finish line for the Gen Z mom consumer. And with the millennials, many of us built up trust in order to sell product to millennials. Well, the Gen Z mom who is a digital native, trust is their starting line. So most Gen Z moms assume that marketing is biased until they prove it otherwise. So transparency really matters over a polished look. Like if you look at my video right now, it's not perfect. There's stuff on my shelves. The lighting might be a little off. There's a glare on my glasses. Sorry, I can't help that. That's okay when it comes to the Gen Z population. In fact, they almost don't trust perfection. They want to see imperfection from brands because they know that that's reality. So that's why you see more and more Gen Z moms turning to Reddit and Quora for real life relevant content and reviews about products. They trust lived experiences more than they do credentials. So if you're a brand, it's okay not to have polished content. It's okay to have user-generated content that represents your brand. And in fact, you'll find that it often performs better if you are going after a Gen Z mom. Proof matters more than promises when it comes to a Gen Z mom. So the takeaway there is that trust has to be at the starting line of your relationship with these Gen Z moms, and it isn't the end goal. They want to have trust before they even proceed with having a relationship with your brand. So the next section or the next big theme around Gen Z is that value is practical, not aspirational for the Gen Z mom. They are highly value-driven, intentional consumers. And that doesn't mean that they're cheap. That just means that they are value driven and they're very, very intentional on how they spend their money. Experiences matter over the luxury of things. They mix premium with budget brands very confidently. They have no problem doing that. They love to thrift because that's very functional for them, and they can get the brands they want at a price that is practical for their families. The interesting thing is, though, is they turn to brands and to content, and they want help narrowing those choices, not expanding them. So it's really great if on your website you could organize your product and your content to help the Gen Z mom make a intentional decision that feels like she's getting value. So for some of my clients, what I recommend is perhaps you bundle product together that's only available on your website, bundled together, almost as an exclusive offering if they come directly to your website. Peer reviews outweigh the brand claims, so make sure that your reviews are authentic and that they're ample. And if I were a brand, I would make sure that at least once a week I am going to Reddit and I am asking questions that relate to the functionality and the solution of my product. So let me give you an example. You're going to want to go to Reddit because you want to know what moms are talking about in your category. So for instance, if you are a beauty or a lotion company that helps with eczema for children, I would go to Reddit and I would put into the Reddit search, how do I cure, or what lotions can I use to help my child's eczema? And you're going to see real life insights into what your consumer is asking and talking about with other moms. It's like being a fly on the wall. Now, I'm going to caution you not to jump in on the discussion, because that's what brands tend to want to do, is like, okay, how can I be a part of this discussion? But really the value is on the insights that you can garner from being the fly on the wall in those discussions. The next section that I want to talk about when it comes to Gen Z mom is search and AI and how Gen Z moms decide on what to buy. So Gen Z moms ask full questions. They don't use keywords. And if you go to my blog on bsmmedia.com, you will find, and I'll put a link in the comments below to this particular blog post. We're really entering a time when there is a rebirth of the mommy blogger. And the value there is that instead of engaging with a mom blogger to just review your product, you should actually be using LLM and AEO to enhance your AI search results. So for instance, recently we worked with a hotel chain and we engaged with mom bloggers to blog about the experiences and to answer real life questions. Now, it took us a little bit of time to, my team looked at the most commonly asked questions that moms ask about staying in a hotel room and this particular hotel chain. And we were able to come up with LLM searches that moms do. And we engaged with the blogger to answer those questions. So for instance, one blog post was titled, can I stay at X hotel and get good meals for my children? That's an actual question that moms Google, okay? And so we wrote a whole blog post, or the blogger did on our behalf, of all of the food options that this particular hotel offers. And so we actually worked with 25 different mom bloggers, and out of the 25, we were able to get content on page 1 of Google. It ranked on the first page of Google for a variety of searches, all related to staying in that particular hotel. It also appeared in the AI results, which most Gen Zs will read over a blue link. So AI answers are cross-checked by the Gen Zer with social proof. So if you are not educated or learning about AI and answer optimization, and you're not optimizing your social media content as well as creating additional content that will get you that optimization, then you're actually leaving money on the table. And I'm happy to help with that. If you want to reach out, I can answer those questions. Okay, very quickly so that you don't have to watch a 15-minute video. The other thing that you should know about Gen Z is that parenting identity shapes brands' expectations. So parenting is an identity for these Gen Zers. It's not transactional. Brands can normalize the struggles of a mom by helping her feel safe. And that goes a long way with building that trust. Empathy, when it comes to a mom, must be earned and not assumed. So just because you say, oh, we know that you live in a chaotic world, so we're offering you this, there's a lack of trust there. She doesn't want to know that you know that she lives in a chaotic world. She wants authentic empathy toward that by you serving up solutions to her. And then loyalty between Gen Z moms and brands is earned through consistency. They know that anything can be replicated overnight via technology or AI. And so they want to consistently see that a brand supports them as a mother and is very intentional in helping support the narrative that they are writing as a mom. I hope that you found this applicable to your marketing goals, and I'm happy to answer any questions. My email is maria@bsmmedia, or shoot me an email, and I'm happy to do a Zoom call. We at BSM Media can help you market to the Gen Z mom, and I also can speak at conferences and or come into your company and do a customized training session for your employees. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. But remember, the takeaway here is that Gen Z moms are not younger millennials.